Hello. So, I have news. Today is my birthday. Yay. And I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of my approach going into today, knowing that my life and of what I enjoy revolves kind of around food and celebrating around food and how I'm handling that in prep. So I have been given permission from my coach, which I'll maybe include a little bit of a snippet here.
You said you're feeling like a glass of wine or maybe some chocolate or heck, maybe even a piece of cake. I'm totally fine if you fit in something like that as long as you fit it into your macros.
That basically says I can take today as not a full intuitive day. We're not doing that. We're still counting macros, but as a more flexible if it fits your macros approach. I will kind of like clarify by saying I do take an if it fits your macros approach anyways. I'm not on a meal plan or anything. And I know a lot of people like the 80-20 thing. For the most part, if it's packaged, I'm cool with it as long as it's like under a certain amount of ingredients and I'm not like too terribly strict about it. I kind of eat whatever I want anyways. And right now, because my macros are so high, I still have a lot of like fun foods incorporated in my diet. The thing being, because I'm being a little bit more flexible today, I am having a piece of cookie, cake, and a glass of wine. My other meals are just going to be a little bit smaller to make room for that. And I might be a little bit hungry, but that's okay because you know what? I really want a piece of cookie cake. I have a cookie cake every year. And this will be nice to still kind of keep that the same, even though I'm in prep. So I wanted to take also some time to catch up on my physique. So here's a physique update and where I'm kind of sitting at in my prep. I've taken a pretty substantial hit to my carbs. 60 grams of carbs from where I started, down around 5 grams of fat, and protein's about the same, and cardio is still the same too. And my training has actually taken a little bit of a hit too. I do think that there's ways around that. I'm going to work a little bit with my meal timing, because typically before I started prepping, I would have a couple of rice cakes or like some candy or like a piece of like a cookie or something before going to the gym. I don't do that anymore because the snacking has weaned down because my carbs have come down. So I can't just have a couple of rice cakes before I go to the gym. I think I'm just going to be a little bit more strategic about when I eat. Problem is I like to train fasted. Typically I run into this problem on the weekends, especially like before my leg days, where I will just like not feel super good if I go to the gym with food in my belly. I swear, it doesn't matter whether I've eaten 2 hours ago or 4 hours ago, I still feel like I'm gonna throw up on squats. But I'm starting to take energy hits with my training, so I need to train with some food in my belly. Anyways. The plan is just I'm going to play around with meal timing a little bit and see if that gets better. And then I'm starting to feel a little bit of hunger. And it'll be okay. I still have quite a few carbs to play with, and my macros are still pretty high. I'm at still over 2,000 calories, okay? So I'm still eating a lot of food and I'm losing weight. So those are all good signs that things are moving in the right direction. I am probably going to cut away at this point to some other little chit chat that I have, because I have another little thing to touch on this week that I'm not happy about. Ayo! I wanted to come in here and like talk very briefly about overtraining because it's relevant this week. Why is it relevant this week? Well, my coach put me on a deload.
At this point in the training split, if we're noticing a lot of soreness, typically to me that means that because we haven't trained the training stimulus, your body is just really, really needing a little bit of extra TLC and recovery.
I'm sore all the time. And that's not a good thing. Soreness is a very, very poor indicator of progress. If you're sore all the time, it doesn't necessarily mean you're building muscle. It usually means your recovery is not ideal. I don't know if that's lack of sleep. I feel like my sleep has been fine. I don't know if that's the cut in calories, that just my recovery is not keeping up as well as it used to. That being said, I kind of always struggle with recovery, even in a surplus. I don't think it's because I like train hard. I train hard, but not any harder than anyone else. And I mean, I honestly think it's stress. I don't know if it's stress from my job or just stress, like normal life stress. But point being, my recovery is falling behind. I'm sore all the time, and I need to taper back my training. And it sucks because it makes me feel like a failure as an athlete. Like part of me being an athlete is being able to train, and now I can't train because my recovery sucks. And it makes me just feel like I'm not doing something good enough. And that's not a good feeling to have. I mean, here's the thing. I have a coach. My coach is telling me to slow my roll. And one of the things that I absolutely suck at is knowing when I need to take a break. And like that's why I have her, is to prevent me from getting injured. And it just means like I still get to train. I just get to train at like 30 to 50% my max, which is okay. I can focus a little bit on like range and feeling good in my body for a little bit and focus on recovery. And hopefully I'll be feeling better in a couple of weeks. But right now I'm just sore all the time. I do have something to add to that. One of the things that I've always kind of prided myself on in the past was my ability to be able to tell the difference between good pain and bad pain. And when I was a swimmer, good pain meant soreness, general like muscle fatigue, lactic acid buildup, that kind of burning sensation you get when you're pushing yourself really hard, and being proud of pushing yourself to that point. Be able to push yourself to the point where you know you're going to improve. And when I was training for half marathons, that was something I was really good at doing, is pushing myself to that point where, yeah, this really hurts, but I'm going to be better because of it. And that's like your good pain versus your bad pain being something like stress fractures, joint stiffness, tweaking an ankle, or like pulling a muscle. That's like your bad pain. And I got really good at being able to tell the difference between good pain and bad pain. The problem is with weightlifting, soreness, and especially repeated soreness, when you've been on the same split for 13 weeks, even though soreness is a good pain by my definition of basically that I've been going by my whole life, it's becoming a point where it's a repetitive soreness and almost like a clue to a stress injury or a repetitive injury. And it's technically now at this point a bad pain. But me being me, I feel soreness in my body and I'm just like, yeah, no, you can keep going. And that's why I tend to struggle with overtraining. It's tough, but I have to like reframe my mindset, right? I have to reframe and kind of tell myself, this is okay. Your focus now, instead of getting stronger, especially in prep, my focus is not going to be building muscle right now. And it's hard because I want to beat the logbook every time I go into the gym. But my focus now needs to be on recovering properly so that I can continue to train, even though prep is going to get harder. And I need to focus on recovering. I need to focus on being able to, what can I do to continue to train? And right now, taking a deload is what I need to do to continue to train. Even though I don't want to do it, it's what I need to do. And it's not that I need to be happy about it. It's just that, hey, your focus needs to change. You can't get stronger every time you go into the gym when your calories are being cut. So my focus needs to be, what can I do in order to keep going to the gym? What can I do in order to keep progressing down this path? And this is what I need to do. So that's what I'm going to do. Anyways, thanks for listening. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you letting me rant about overtraining and macros for a little bit. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks for another update. And thank you. And adios.